Welcome to Joe's RC Pit. Today we had a request from Team Blackhawk FPV to do a quick review on the setup that I decided to build for the DX9 to mount to the ezUHF TX. And this is my design here, what I actually came up with. This is basically a bracket that we mount to the back of the DX9 here with some padding and 4 little bolts with nuts that hold this in place. And then we also built a nice kickstand here, so when we set this unit down, which eventually you're going to have to set the radio on a bench or the ground or something like that, you don't actually damage the connector here, which would be plugged into the ezUHF like that. As you can see here, that's not hitting the ground. We also added a 3-cell LiPo Venom pack here with some Velcro to the back of this, which makes it a nice slim design. And then, of course, we have the Venom monitor to monitor the battery pack to make sure that we don't undervolt the LiPo. And this has an alarm on it, and it's very loud, but we'll warn you when your battery is getting low, which is a nice thing. We have here a custom cable that I built that actually plugs into the trainer port. We have the balance plug here to go into the battery. We put some Instamorph on this connector here to give it some strength, since we're going to be pulling it on and off quite a bit. We wanted some strain relief on that, because this is basically a balance plug extender, and the leads were just basically soldered on the tip of with a little heat shrink tubing, so we want to make that a little bit tougher. And then, of course, the cable comes up back here to the ezUHF, and then inside here we have both power and data for the radio to the unit. One thing we wanted to also talk about here was the mount for the ezUHF to the bracket. You cannot use standard Velcro. We had to use this heavy industrial. As you can see, it's pretty hard to get off. This Velcro is the same kind of stuff they use on the iPass that you put in your car in the windshield. It's that very hard Velcro. Works well in hot weather, and once you click it on, it stays on. And as you can see, as I wiggle the radio, it does not move. It's very sturdy. And if you try to use regular black Velcro like you have on the battery pack here, this will actually swish as you move it back and forth. It doesn't really feel sturdy, and did not really like that. Now the other design about the bracket is, as you can see, when you're naturally holding the radio like this, the antenna is pointing straight up. I've seen a lot of people actually take their ezUHF and mount it like this on the radio. Now this does work, but the problem is when you're flying like this, more than likely the top of the antenna is going to be pointing towards your quad or your aircraft, and that is a bad place you want to be with that antenna, because you're actually in what I call the blind spot of the antenna, and you really want your antenna to be vertical towards your craft. So we pop this back on and plug this back in here. So you can see when you're holding it like this, the antenna is vertical. There is a decent distance here between this and the radio. So when you're flying, you don't get any near field interference. I have read some posts online that people putting their ezUHF here, they had some near field interference problems. Maybe not with this radio, but with other radios. And I just wanted to make something a little bit simple. Plus, with the tripod type stand, it's very stable. You can actually play with this radio while it's sitting on the desk. If you set it down on the ground, you're not going to have any issues with that. So another thing I want to tell you about, when you plug this bind plug in, or not bind, when you plug in the trainer plug, you'll see that the radio actually comes on without the power switch being turned on. You'll also notice that the light is not on. This 2.4 gigahertz radio is not active right now. So you don't have to turn that switch on. You just plug in the plug, and then when you connect your power plug to the system, you'll get the Venom alarm here. And what you have there, you can see, is the Venom LiPo monitor monitoring the LiPo battery. If that goes below 3.3 volts, that will start alarming. And then we have, of course, the power here. And then if we wanted to start up our NASA GPS, we would just pull these in like this, or however you have it set up, and it will run. We actually have all of our switches programmed to for different things. I am using all the channels for the gimbal, so you have these switches back here which adjust the gimbal, and the one on this side. I don't have the extra channel for the one of the flight modes, so we just basically have
flight mode 2, flight mode 3, flight mode 1.
We just have the 3 flight modes there, and then of course the down here.
Landing mode.
This is the emergency switch.
Normal
And then we have throttle cuts
Throttle
here.
cut. Launch mode.
So we have everything programmed up and pretty much ready to go. And that's pretty much it. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you are going to put this in the Spektrum box, you can remove this unit here, and this, as you can see, the antenna is approximately the same height as the bracket, so this will fit in the Spektrum OEM box, and the cover will close and everything will fit nicely. And you can actually put this and the radio, you have to take the antenna off here of course, will all fit in the Spektrum radio box. So that was another great thing about the design. So here is the Spektrum box, and then as you can see we have the cables disconnected here. We can leave the battery pack on there, or we can actually take it off. And as you can see, that fits in there like that. We take our diamond antenna off of the ezUHF, we can set that in there, and then we set the antenna in here like this, and as you can see there's enough clearance there for that antenna, and everything fits nicely in your Spektrum box. If you have any questions, please post them in my YouTube site, and thanks for watching.